Hi, and welcome to Peter6's channel. This is going to be a video on gas systems for the Ar15. We're just going to talk about the standard DI systems. I don't like the piston systems, but this is going to be a video on, of the DI systems, what is the deal with length, that sort of thing. There are really three lengths. There's four, but I'm not even going to talk about one of them. The fourth one is pistol length, and it's to be used on like sub 7-inch barrels in an AR-15. It's real short and really dumb, so just don't buy one of those. The three that are worth buying are the carbine, the mid-length, and the rifle length gas systems. Now, believe it or not, all of these gas systems have been around since the mid-1960s. A lot of people think, oh, mid-length, that's, a new invention, blah, blah, blah. No. I have a picture of a prototype AR-15 from, like, I think it's 1967. I might be wrong. But it's on my Instagram account. Go look it up. It's towards the front of when I started posting pictures on there. And it's kind of zoomed in and just of the gas system, but yeah, that is just as old as any of these. The oldest, of course, is the rifle length, and then next oldest is the carbine length for some weird reasons. Basically, as soon as the Army started using the rifle, immediately Special Forces went, we really like this, we want a smaller version, and Stoner started working on commando versions and carbine versions and shit like that. Fucking dogfight. Anyway, so when would you use different length gas systems and why? The critical dimension to an AR-15's gas system is this right here. It can be, a tad shorter than that, kind of like it is on this gun. You see how the barrel is a little bit shorter, but it needs to be somewhere in that neighborhood past the front sight. It does not need to be, like a 16-inch carbine. A 16-inch rifle with a carbine gas system has way too much barrel hanging off the front. It's overgassed and tends to... Anyway, so you don't really want a 16-inch barrel with a carbine gas system. And the main reason for that is just because it's overgassed, and that can lead to wear problems in the future. There's some debate on this. I personally don't like to run those. And honestly, if this wasn't a historical piece, I wouldn't really want to run it either. It is what it is. It's a copy of a gun that was made a long time ago. And it's super fucking cool. That's the reason I own it. But if you're really gonna have an AR-15 for serious purposes, you should either be running mid-length or rifle length. Unless you have a 14.5-inch barrel, then you go carbine length. And the shortest I would go is 14.5. That's why I really don't see a point to AR-15 pistols or the SIG brace. Sorry, I faced away from the camera for a second. Audio probably sounded like shit. Anyway, with the AR-15 pistols and the SIG brace and all that shit, you run into so many laws and bullshit that it's not worth doing. Okay? And at the same time, you run into the shit that they ran into with these guns. That once you drop down so short, they start not working quite as well. 11.5 with modern gas settings and modern ammo is going to run pretty well. I'm not saying it's not, but to go shorter than that, you're just asking for trouble. 11.5 is about an inch shorter than what you see here without that thing on the front of it. Okay, so when do you run a carbine length? 14.5 to like an 11.5-inch barrel. What about a mid-length? The mid-length, I would say, a 16-inch barrel. That's all it's good for. But people go, well, what about an 18-inch barrel? Well, don't run an 18-inch barrel. I hear lots of people going, well, I want to build an SPR, like, you know, nothing fancy or whatever, and I want an 18-inch barrel. If you're going to do that, do a 20-inch barrel. You're already opting for a longer range, harder hitting barrel. Why would you kill yourself by 2 inches? 2 inches at that point isn't a big deal. A 20-inch versus a little carbine like this, yeah, that's a big deal. But 20-inch versus 18-inch, just take the extra 2 inches and suck it up. Okay, that's just my opinion. So if it were me and I had an 18-inch gun, I would want it to be a rifle length gas system, because I would err on the side of less gas instead of more gas. That's just me. Okay, so then there's rifle length. Rifle length, like I said, 18 or 20-inch barrels, you're good to go. Now you might say, well, what about a dissipator? A dissipator is a 16-inch Ar15 with a full rifle length gas system. If you can have one that works, I don't see a reason not to. I'm kind of a fan of the dissipator guns, but you're going to spend a lot of money getting one that works. And the reason I'm a fan of them is simply because you have the most handguard possible. It covers the entire barrel. And that's what I would prefer, is either to have the entire handguard covered with barrel, sorry, the entire barrel covered with handguard, I'm fucking up today, or have this ratio right here so that it's correct and can fit a bayonet lug and do all the rest of that cool shit that we want it to. Anyway, fucking dogs, man. Anyway, that's pretty much all there is to know about gas system length. There's maybe one or two other notes that I just can't think of right now or something like that, but people get all bent around the axis about this gas length or that gas length, and really, if you're buying an off-the-shelf gun, I think any of them will work for you. I would prefer not to have a 16-inch gun with a carbine length gas. I would prefer to have a mid-length. It's just a personal preference, really. I mean, they both work. Like I said, really, as far as Ar15 pistols go, if you're going to do it, do an 11.5-inch barrel. And the reason I say that is because ideally 14.5 would be better, but you're going with the pistol to save on size. And you can do a pinned and welded flash hider on a 14.5 and have a full, like, real rifle that you can really shoulder and all the rest of that bullshit. Whereas with the pistol, you lose a lot of that. And yet again, I'm going to say the same thing for those that I said for the SPRs. At that point, is 3 inches worth giving up a stock and all the rest of that shit and having some hunk of rubber that's a bunch of bullshit. I built an AR-15 pistol to try the SIG brace out with when they first came out, and I kind of came to some conclusions about that. That's going to have to be a separate video, but anyway, basically, gas systems, keep the carbine on short barrels, keep the mid-length on 16-inch barrels, and keep the rifle on 20-inch barrels. You'll never have any problems. Thanks for watching. Be sure to thumbs up the video and subscribe and like and do all the rest of that bullshit you feel is necessary. I'll see you guys later.